Non-vegetarian food. I used to love non-vegetarian food. When I was a toddler, I gave my mother a really tough time by not eating anything at all. In fact, I was so thin that I could slip right through the bars of the gate in our house. But even when I was this thin and would not eat anything at all, the only thing I ate, much to my mother's delight, was a bowl of chicken soup. And thus my love affair with chicken and non-veg food in general started. As I started growing up, I started to enjoy traditionally vegetarian dishes with chicken. Dosa for breakfast, put some chicken gravy on my plate. Curd rice for dinner, you guessed it, put some chicken curry on my plate. But then, all of a sudden, the unthinkable happened. One fine day, 3 years ago, I suddenly stopped eating meat. Here's what happened. Years ago, I stopped eating meat. Suddenly, abruptly. To know why, we're going to have to back up to more than 3 years. 11 years ago, I met Nikhil. And Nikhil and I were hopelessly attracted to each other. So we started dating. 7 years ago, Nikhil starts exploring meditation. He then starts pushing me to do a meditation course. And after a few days of him pushing, I give in. I reasoned to myself, I can do this much for my boyfriend. I'm a good girlfriend. And so, to prove my good girlfriendness, I attended my very first meditation course. I started meditating on and off until 4 years ago when I started to have some seriously good experiences with meditation and the yoga way of living. And so we arrive at the crucial day 3 years ago, the 3rd of December 2019, when I completely stopped eating meat. Was it because I suddenly started feeling bad for all the animals that we were killing only to please our taste buds? Or was it because the gurus I learned meditation from strictly told me to not eat non-vegetarian food?
No.
Or was it because I was suddenly concerned about greenhouse gas emissions and climate change and wanted to start doing my bit for it? No. The answer is no. I stopped eating non-vegetarian food simply because I no longer had the desire to. It's as easy and simple as that. I no longer had cravings for my mom's chicken dishes. My mouth no longer watered at the thought of mutton keema or Apollo fish, and that is why I stopped eating them. But one could argue, so what if you lost the desire to eat it? You can still continue to eat it. True, but my body would not accept this food anymore. In order to go deep into meditation, the body needs to be clean and light. If there is something unsettling on the physical level, then transcending into meditation on the mental level is not easy. In my experience, when you eat non-vegetarian food, it makes the body feel heavy. You see, carnivorous animals have shorter intestines, usually 3 to 6 times the length of their body, which allows for quick passage of the meat through their systems. Which is good because otherwise the meat would start to putrefy in the body if it stayed there longer. But humans have longer intestines, 10 to 12 times the length of the body, much like herbivores. So when we eat meat, it tends to stay longer in the body, leading to this feeling of heaviness. Also, our bodies don't produce as much acid to digest this meat as do carnivores. This heaviness, this lethargy, is a quality of what is called as tamas. Tamas literally means darkness in Sanskrit. Tamas is characterized by dullness or inactivity, inertia or lethargy. I began to notice that eating meat made me feel sluggish and heavy and have associated thoughts. And so my body, which was now getting used to and honestly enjoying states of balance and peaceful positivity, started rejecting the food that made it feel heavy and that made meditation difficult. All the things that once appealed to me about non-vegetarian food, the smell, the taste, I started to develop a dislike for these things. I just didn't want to eat it anymore. And hence I turned vegetarian. A lot of people have concerns that as a vegetarian, you may miss out on certain vitamins that are largely available in a non-veg diet, like vitamin B12. Yes, vitamin B12 is predominantly available in meat and eggs, but it's also available in vegetarian sources like mushroom and fermented foods and nutritional yeast. I've recently come across a very simple way to add B12 to my diet. I've been using these HK Vitals vitamin B12 strips and they're pretty effortless to take. Each of these strips provides you with 100% of your daily B12 requirements, is easy to dissolve and absorb in your mouth, and starts acting within 30 seconds. These orange flavored strips are a great option for vegetarians and vegans because they are made out of effective plant-based ingredients like vegan B12, curcumin and folate. Vitamin B12 is an essential vitamin that helps reduce fatigue in the body, increases energy levels in the body, and helps in overall mood improvement through the day. It also helps in maintaining healthy nerve cells in your nervous system. You can check out this one and the entire range on hkvitals.com. Use code Anita to get 10% off of your first purchase of HK Vitals Dissolve. The link is in the description. Here are some questions that I often receive after I stopped eating non-vegetarian food. Do you miss non-veg food? Nah, no, not at all. In fact, this lifestyle change brought a variety of tasty veg food into my life. How do you stop yourself from eating non-veg food? Like I said, one doesn't have to stop oneself when there is no desire in the first place. And oh, you probably don't get enough protein then, huh? Let's bust some myths here then, shall we? This thought that if you eat vegetarian food only you don't have enough protein is... I'm sorry, I don't want to use expletives on this channel, but yeah, there are many amazing and nutritious sources of protein in a vegetarian diet, like chickpeas and sprouts, but that's a whole other video for another time, I guess. Until then, don't worry about me because my protein intake is pretty damn good. The reaction I get the most when I tell people that I stopped eating non-vegetarian food is one of pure and utter shock. You see, this is because people that know me well know of my once upon a time love for non-vegetarian food. They always first try to force me to eat non-veg food, and when I stick to who I am, they're like,
You really stopped eating non-veg? How are you controlling yourself?
and I tell them, and I'm telling you, that stopping eating non-vegetarian food was the easiest thing to do. Because I literally didn't have to control myself because there was no desire. Here are the changes I saw in myself after I left meat. I was able to wake up early in the mornings without feeling tired and lethargic, and usually without the use of an alarm. I experience much less lethargy as compared to before, especially those crucial couple of hours right after a meal when you feel so drowsy. That feeling has pretty much disappeared now and I feel so light. And in general, my body feels more light and flexible. I'm able to meditate 2 to 3 times as long as before stopping meat, and the quality of meditation has greatly improved as well. I feel so much closer to nature now, more sensitive towards the environment and other living creatures, including human beings. Look, I mean no judgment towards non-vegetarians, okay? I've been there myself and everybody's on their own paths. And this is just a documentation of why I stopped eating non-vegetarian food and my views as I am today. Now here's some food for thought. When you eat meat, you're taking away life. This is a fact, plain and simple. To eat meat, you gotta kill something to eat its meat, right? Right. Now here's a question to think about. Why do we humans feel it is okay for us to take away the breath of life from another species? I'm not calling it good or bad, it's just a question to think about. Look, I get it. A lot of people that eat meat don't really think like this. They're just like, I like meat, it's tasty, I'ma eat it. I know I didn't think like this when I was eating meat. But here's how I feel about it today. To take away someone's life, to take away an animal's life, is not a very nice thing to do. Yes, plants also have life in them, which is one of the biggest reasons we want to eat them. Eating something alive, like fresh fruit and raw vegetable and sprouts, is so much better for our bodies. Eating something full of prana, which in Sanskrit means life force, is so much better for the energy in our cells. It keeps the energy in us lively and high. In today's world, do we need to eat meat to survive? No. When you eat meat now, it's not to satiate your hunger, but to satiate your senses. And on the spiritual path, the desires of the senses start melting away and give way to awareness and love instead. And that, my friends, is why my body stopped accepting non-vegetarian food. As always, I hope you took something of value away from this video. You can click on this video here to watch my daily diet that I've shared with you. I lost 6 kgs in a month with this diet and some serious yoga. You can watch it here. And otherwise, I'm going to see you in the next video. Until then, may you keep finding happiness within yourself and spreading the love. Bye.